Hi guys, today I'll be showcasing you guys how to use Maya. I don't know if you guys caught that, but today we'll be showcasing you how to use Maya. This is like a follow-up to the Blender sessions that we have. We're going to make the same things, do the same tutorial just to showcase you guys all 3D software is the same. It's just a little bit different, hotkeys are a bit different, and this gives you the fundamentals to go into any studio, if you apply to any studio, and just be able to work with 3D straight away or understand the process of 3D, because it's all the same basically. All you just need to know is where the buttons are. And if you go to like higher end studios, they have their own proprietary 3D software, so that means the hotkeys are going to be different again because they've made it their own basically. So yeah, so you might be using Blender, you might be using Maya, so this tutorial will help you understand the fundamentals of it. But before we go to that, just to let you guys know, you can actually get this for free right now if you are a student. So if you go to Autodesk student educational license or anything, you can go in to this website and just select which product you want. You want to, well, you need to show, you want to select Maya or anything 3ds Max, anything useful from here. There's loads of useful software that you can actually get for free. Mudbox, but ZBrush is the one sculpting tool that you want to use with Maya. Typically, if you're doing a Maya workflow, you want to use Maya, ZBrush, Substance. Whereas in Blender, you can kind of do all of it in the same package, but not as well as all of them individually with Maya. So you want to go and find Maya and select it. And then I'm already logged in, but you can just select this guy, and then it will ask you to log in and send a picture of your student license, and you'll be able to get access to this. I can't do it for you guys because but that's how you can do it. Anyway, moving on to Maya. So once you're in Maya, you're greeted with this page. I am running a slightly older version, but the good thing about Maya is that every version looks basically the same. So and it is backwards compatible, but that's why it's really good basically for like old pipelines in the industry. However, I heard they did some new scripting, so some add-ons might be missing. But regardless, I'm gonna go and press new to get a new thing. You don't get this thing open up, you get this, and this is like, in comparison to the Blender one, it is a lot. So we're gonna go run through the same thing. We're gonna run through all the UI, and afterwards we're gonna go and do that exercise where we make the hammer quickly and show you guys all the tools. Bit of a disclaimer, I have not used Maya for a while, so I might forget a few things. But firstly, we navigate differently. You hold Alt to do all navigation things, and you left click and drag to orbit around the thing. It's good to have a cube so we can see what we're actually doing. So we can hold Alt and left click and drag to orbit around. We can hold Alt and middle mouse to pan around the screen, and Alt to right click to zoom in. You can also scroll in to zoom in like so. Yes. We can go and click on the object. That gives you the tools over here. So this may look similar. This is you're on the selection tool, which is Q. W allows you to manipulate, so start moving the object so you can move it. So you don't do if you hold it in the middle, you move it everywhere, just like if you press G on Blender. You automatically lock onto axes if you do this, like so, on the arrows. And if you press E, that gives you the rotation thing, so you can rotate around there, rotate around there. You can't do the ones, it's kind of locked up, you can't do the ones if you this gizmo is really good compared to the Blender one. So if you accidentally hold in between, you won't move it, you only move it via axes like so, which is really good. And you also get a nice little look down over here which allows you to how do I put it, you can just see where it's top instead of it's Z. Scale is R, and then you scale from the middle, you scale from here, you scale from here, you scale from the red axes. You can also get these little slider boxes which like scale it on the these two axes, which will be the XY axis. Blender's the only one that has Z going up. Z is like in other software going sideways, so Y is usually up in these software. So that's really useful. Control Z to undo. If you press space, you can go to 4 view. When you press space again, you can go to split view like this over here, and 4 view, and perspective view over here. So yes, you can also go press Control space for professional mode, which gives you maximum no clutter. Everything you need is on the right click button. If you hold right click and squiggle around, this doesn't even show you anything, but what this does is it does this. So like, for example, if you know what you're doing, you can hold right click and go UV, and you can click on the UV. If you know where edge is, you flick to the edge, and you can go select edges now. If you flick to the flick to the 9 o'clock position, you can select that. But I won't use professional mode because it's very, very confusing, because there is just nothing showing, basically. As you can see, I can manipulate all of these edges, so there's no edit mode and object mode here. You just kind of just click on the specific mode. Object mode, well, there is object mode, it says it. You can go to face selection like that, and you can manipulate all of these with your tool and QER, basically, so you can rotate them like this, etc. So that's how you go between object mode and stuff, and UV mode, UV shells, or all the modes that you might need. However, you can also do it visually over here, so you can click on this one for vertex, this one for head. So this little menu over here is for your modeling kind of things. You can turn on symmetry, camera based selection, everything that you might need, combine all the booleans, beveling, bridging, everything that you might need is over here, guys. It is over here. I won't go through all. I might go through all the tools. I mean, there's a lot, but yeah, we'll go through that. But that's all your selection options, and that's how you manipulate the things. Let's go through some of the UI stuff now. So there is a lot of windows here. So there's file, edit, create, select, modify, windows, all that. The file one is really useful because this is where we save our scene, save increments, import, export stuff. And what we need, and another thing is the set project or project window. This is already part of this project window, but if you want to save as, Maya has a really good way to save things. So if you just set project onto and make a folder name and set that as the project, that will just save everything in that project, and all you have to do to transfer it over to other software or other Maya users, you just need to copy that and just give it to them, basically, or put that onto like OneDrive and you can edit it live. And this means that you don't have to like in Blender, it's not organized, so like all your textures could be everywhere basically, and you don't know where to find it, and we have to relink everything. If everything is in there, you'll know that it's there. So that's one important thing. On the edit, there's only a few things that there's like copy paste, Control Z, duplicate special, group, parent, and there's actually something that is completely missing here that I don't. You need to also, oh yeah, here it is, delete by type. You need to delete by type history because of how Maya works. If you don't delete by type or delete all by type history a lot, sometimes I'll mention this later on, it will slowly slow down the video. As you can see, if we go to attribute editors, as you can see, if I select this guy, you can see that it's got all of these components, and if I were to just quickly do something on this, so for example, go to face mode, select this face, press W, extrude a little bit. As you can see now, I have a extrusion face 1, and then extrusion phase 2, extrusion 3. So you can always go back to each one of these and like change up the divisions and stuff depending on how if it messes it up or anything, for example. But you can go for this one, for example, I can divide it a few more times or whatnot, and it will do something crazy. But as you can see, eventually this will, with your modeling, this will add up and lag out your scene. So if I go and delete by type history, it just goes back to being, yes, that's a cube. Let's Control Z that, or just go to the outliner and delete it. So we can have a thing. So this is the outliner, same thing as in Blender, where you get to see everything, all our layers, etc. That's where we find it. Under Create, this is where we can find our NURBS primitive, our polygon primitive, so our shapes and stuff, our cones, our whatever we need, our cameras, our lights, everything that we want to create is under here. You can also create things if you hold shift and right click. So hold shift and right click, this is everything is on the right click button in Maya, so you can quickly, instead of finding them in Windows, you can learn how to like press right click on things and hold shift right click, and you get all of these tools that will show up and be and eventually you can be really quick and go like here into one of the tools, or like press it here, and if there's like more options, such as like this one, soften edges, we can go here and drag left and right, and you can be really efficient with Maya and be really quick, like you're waving a magic wand around. But that's a little bit later on. Even I don't know all of that, especially now when I've been using more Blender recently. We have select options, so we can select whatever we need to slope, grow our loop, shrink our loop, everything that we need to do selecting. Modify, which is transformation reset, freezing our transformation, etc. So for example, make live objects to do retopology is really important. Delete attributes, add attributes, weight painting, all that stuff. Over here, if I move this over here, move it over here, this gives value as well. But if that is its default, if it's the default, then we should freeze it, and it makes it 0. And then all of the inputs over here, as you can see, these are our things that are stacking up in our attributes. As you can see, we've transformed our geometry and it's stacked up, and we've frozen it. Eventually, again, we have to go over here, delete by type, history, and that gets rid of it. It's just so you can have a history and go back to each step, basically. So if I were to, for example, go back to Polycube, or go back to this one, we can go ahead and edit it before it's changed. So from here, as you can see, we can edit it a bit before it does that thing, whatever it did before. Okay, hope that makes sense. Display. Display is where we have our grid, so we can turn it off. Our heads up display, which turns on various things like frame rate, our object details kind of I don't think this one's the right one, but as you can see, if you want some special thing, it's over here. It's over here. There's a lot going on here, but yeah, it displays everything that we want. Windows, these are editors. So for example, you might want to go if you ever lose a window, like an outliner, like this window, you can re-enable it over here. Another important one is going to be settings. This is where our preferences is. So if you want to ever find preferences, you go there. Your render editor, your animation editors, all the windows are there. Mesh, this is like all of our abilities on the modeling toolkit over here as well. Over here we have attribute editor and also the channel box. It's important, but you can also find all of the stuff here, or if you click on our object and hold right click and shift at the same time, you get all of those abilities over here as well. So you're not missing out, they're everywhere. There's even more of the stuff like bevel, bridging, and extruding, all of that stuff that you might need on the next page as well. Especially, and there's even more stuff on the next tab on the mesh tools. So these are all tools that you need to use with bevels and all that to make whatever you might need. Mesh displays, you can hard and soften edges, average out your vertices. Everything that you might need there. Curves, this is if you're doing NURBS based modeling. So what we do now is polygon based modeling. Old fashioned way is NURBS based modeling. It's just a different way of calculating 3D objects. These two are together, so all the NURBS stuff is there. However, the form, this is just like modifiers that you can do, like shrink wrap, solidify, everything that we used in Blender we can do over here as well. Under these options, UV, this is when we start UV unwrapping stuff. Generate is more for like paint weighting, weight painting, and do like other generating things. Cache, our geometry cache. This is our caches for like simulations, and Arnold. This is our render engine for Maya. And we're going to go stick with the modeling toolkit, but if you change it over here to rigging, you get different options here and different windows for like doing that specific task, like making a skeleton. Animation, you can look at playback, visualization, constraints, more rigging stuff, effects, you get particles, rendering, you get lighting and texturing and rendering and everything, and then you can customize it. We're going to stick with modeling because we need to get to the basics of just navigating around here, basically. So that is the windows. There's everything over there. Next little section, our snapping tools, our save open is over here, symmetry, and also these clipboards, which are like our rendering options. If we click it, probably nothing will show up because it's dark, but we can start looking at our render settings over here, our render layers on this one, and this is just a login license thing. Underneath that is loads and loads of things. Just loads and loads of things, all involving what you need to do for that specific task is on there. Mesh is like our like generative kind of thing where we can make duplications and do motion graphics things. XGen, hair simulations, substance, this is a connection to substance. Nothing we need. Poly modeling, that's what we need. This is our sculpting tools, but the sculpting in Maya is not as good as Blender. You can do it, but it's not worth your time because you can't go to high polygons without it actually crashing or having like a smooth feedback. I heard it's been good, but typically if you're using Maya, you're using ZBrush as well, or another sculpting software. These two surfaces are for NURBS. You might need to use curves actually for using rigs, because that's how you make rigs. But other than that, UV editing, rigging stuff, everything is on these windows, so you don't have to go through here to turn them on. Sometimes you do though, but yeah, we'll get to that eventually. So those are that window. Did I miss out any window? I don't think so. Underneath here we got our timelines over here. Sometimes our playback does not look normal, so what we need to do is go to this setting and go to turn on one of these settings. It should be on this one's on default, and this one is the one that you want to see it live, basically. Other than that, that's the whole UI. We've actually missed out the viewport thing. So on our viewport we have our view. We can select to lock the camera stuff. We can press to see our X-ray, wireframe, all of that jazz over here. We can also see it over here. We can change our window, so we can change our different lighting, so flat lighting, all lighting, show viewports, what we want to show on our viewport. Over here, panels, we can change perspective to any other camera that we want. Underneath that, I don't know all of these little buttons, but this is for live render view. This is select cameras, gridding, just like it's just a repeat of all the stuff we see in here, basically. But these ones will be very important to see what they look like. These are the same, so wireframe, shade, work mode, default material, shaded, everything that you want to see is over here. Yeah. So that's about it. So anyway, let's get trying to make that. Let's try to make that exercise knowing all of that information. One more thing over here I've kind of missed out. But you can go and toggle character controls here. These settings aren't too useful. If you ever go to here, this is show the modeling toolkit. It's really important one once to get started. But yeah, these are other things on the sidebars here, and this workspace, this just helps you. These are workspaces that will help you out in that specific task, basically. Oh my god. Anyway, that's the lock button if you want to lock anything. So lots of control, lots of things. Remember, if you want to see everything, press Control Space bar for standard view. Yeah, just like for expert mode. But otherwise, everything's there. Right click is where you have all of our tools. Yeah, everything is just kind of there for you, and let's get to the exercise. Okay, so start with a cube. So there's a few ways to go about this. You can make a cube here. If you want to start learning muscle memory, some stuff, we can go shift right click and get a cube. If you click on the square buttons on any of these tools, this will give you the options buttons. So this will show you the menu before you create it, and then I'll just say create, like that. As you can see, we have our thing. I'm gonna mess up with my hotkeys a little bit because I'm too Blender brain right now, but we will alas go through it. We're gonna make it smaller. We're gonna make the same thing. So we're gonna press R, make it smaller, and then we're gonna elongate it this way to make a brick kind of shape. And I believe we kind of messed it up a little bit. So like that, and we have to make a brick shape. I'm gonna extend it like that, just to get it to the right size. As you can see, that's the way. Ooh. I keep on holding shift. If I shift select, as you can see, it kind of clones it, but don't do that. And then we're gonna go put a bevel in there. So let's put a bevel in there. We've beveled it. Get a little option over here. We can change our thing over here like so to get the bevel. We can also go ahead and go bevel it like if we press shift right click, we can go and find the bevel tool somewhere. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's on the control shift bevel. Let me see where it is. So I remember now. So you have to select all of the edges. But firstly you need to go right click, edge mode, hover over it, press right click, bevel edges, and then that will give us the bevels. So there's some specific things we need to do, and then we can go ahead and hold control and get a really controlled bevel, something like that. And then we can put a edge loop using one of these tools over here. So we can go and use the multi-cut tool and hold control and shift. That will give me a 50% bite. We could also go ahead and, for example, go back to this tool, select here, select right click and insert edge loop, and click on one side. Maybe I only want one, so with that we need to go ahead and go to insert edge loop, the menu, and we can go ahead and put only one in, and we can put one. And then once again with that, so selection options, if we ever deselect it, it's a little bit different to Blender. You can hold shift, press back to the Q tool, and we can go hold shift and add, or it's not alt click here. We need to actually, because alt is our navigation, we can double click for the edge loop, or we can go and click one and hold control. Control is to minus the selection, but with control shift or right click, we can select along the path. Here we go. So if we click once and then we go and double click, that should select not the edge loop. Oh wait, we have to hold shift and double click, and that will select up to that point. But we want to select the whole loop, so we just double click like so, and we're gonna press W and slide it across over here. There's multiple ways to do things in Maya. It just depends how you want to do it. And then after with that, we're just gonna bevel the edges, change the fraction up a little bit like so. As you can see, it's less feely, so we get something like that. Now we get to this part where it's really difficult. Oh, if I press 3 or 1, this shows you like the smoothness. 4 is like the wireframe mode, and if you press 5, that turns it back on. 6 is to go into shaded mode, but yeah, so I keep on pressing 3 to select faces, but you have to select faces with the right click. And then I'm gonna go double click this face. Let's see if I can get the right selection here. There we go. So to get that exact, you have to select one and do direction of it. So if I select this direction and double click, you can see that I went all the way around that way. But if I select and double click this way, I just go over here. So a little bit of nuances and learning the programs, how it does its thing. And then we want to go and extrude this guy. So we can just press extrude, but like I said, if you extrude normally, actually in Blend, in Maya, it knows it wants to extrude on the off axis, on the just like normally. So that's really nice of it to help me out doing that. But we can also go onto it by going extrude. We can extrude faces like so, and then we can go extrude like this. Another thing that we can do to extrude is if we click on here and hold shift, hold shift was on the W tool, we can do that. And to insert, we can press R and extrude inwards like so, and then we can press W to push it in, for example, or extrude it, hold W and hold it in. So something like that we can do as well. Cool. And then we have this shape, and now we need to find the mirror modifier so we can get it onto the other side. So for this case, we need to go back to object mode like this, and then hold shift right click, go find the mirror mode. You can find it everywhere. Let's go to the settings over here just to know that we're going into the right way. So let's go, I think that should be right. Let's go press apply, and we got it mirrored to the other side. But our geometry type is instance, so we want to go and copy it, I believe. Let's see. So it's all in one shape. If we have it instanced like this and apply it, I think this allows us so that if we want to, as you can see, it's kind of move, like it's made two shapes basically to make that little bit. So we want to make it like so we want to control Z. Let's try flipped and see what happens. That flips it. So we want to go and copy it basically and apply. So we have our little hammer shape. It's all the same thing, guys. But before that, remember, we actually chamfered our edges a little bit. So if we go back and go to face selection mode, select here, it's starting to come back to me, guys. And press R and drag this slider. We can make it like that. And then we've got to go and press not Control A, but select the whole thing. If you don't select all your whole thing, you might need to turn on camera based selection off basically, and then we can go and copy that over like so. And now we have a nice chamfered edge. It looks a little bit weird actually. Might see where that went wrong. I see, that's how it's going wrong. So let's go back to object mode and try it like there. There we go. Oh, that's not quite doing it, to be honest with you. So let me just work that out and see why it's not kind of picking that up. Maybe it's too small. I don't know why, but if I cut my geometry, it will do it. So it's done it now. And that's our hammer head. So once again, we can go over here, hammer head, and do it. Now we can press W, move this up a little bit, and deselect, add a cylinder over here. And before we go any further, we can go into the cylinder tab and kind of do the same thing as we do with Blender, and kind of change up the settings before it goes in, but I guess not, so we can just do this just live. So make it smaller, elongate it one way, make it smaller, elongate it one way. Actually, I don't like that, doing that. I think it's on one of these. We want to change the cylinder sizes a lower. We want to change our radius to be a bit thinner, like so, and the height to be not as huge. Something like that looks about not thick enough. If you hold Control or Control Shift, Shift locks it in. Hold Control, maybe it'll give you a smoother way. Nothing. So let's just type it in then. When in doubt, just type it in. Let's try that. Whatever. Let's go like that. Cool. And let's slide this up. Something like that. Press W, move it up. And we're going to go ahead and put some detail onto it. So once again, I'm going to go in and add some edge loops. Edge loops. Actually, I've got to go use the multi-cut tool here just to make my life a little bit easier. I'm going to multi-cut one here, multi-cut one here, whilst holding Control. Over here now, I'm going to go press face mode and select this face. Like that, and then I'm gonna go and scale it up like so. As you can see, the tools here actually work. And once again, I'm going to do the same thing over here. It's just quicker for me to use multi-cut, but you can use edge loops if you want. I'm going to hold Control, press one here, press one there, and press one more here. Go press W. Select this one, press Q actually. Select that, extrude that, and we have the same hammer as we did in Blender. So if you guys enjoyed that tutorial, hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial, and I'll see you guys next time. Just carry on manipulating shapes, making new shapes, and just trying out Maya essentially. But see you guys on the next tutorial.